Hello Nidoraignards and Nidoraigners, it is King Nido here, and we are coming today from Motorstoke City where the Engines are hosting the Future Royal Gators, and both these sides coming in with 7-3 records. They are both in the top 6. Poison types having won their last 4 games. The Motorstoke Engines want to end that winning streak by getting back into the Elite Four. So let us know in the comments below who you think will win. Will it be the Fire types? Will it be the Poison types? Let's go! But that is right, as I said, the Poison types have won their last 4 games and they are starting out big with Toxtricity and Overqwil. It will be Cinderace and Charizard though, starting out for the Motorstoke Engines, and immediately Cinderace is going to go for the Headlong Rush, which means with that Libero ability it becomes a ground type and Overqwil is eliminated. It is a one-hit wonder. Cinderace has lowered both of its defense stats and is on the receiving end of that poison point ability, so it will be left poisoned here. But Overqwil automatically taken out of this matchup. Charizard follows it up with the Volt Switch onto Toxtricity, which is not very effective because Toxtricity is a part electric type. But Charizard goes back to the bench, and out in its place comes Typhlosion, as Toxtricity is going to go with that Sweet Zone. It is going to connect here and lower that evasiveness of both Cinderace and Typhlosion a great deal. And there is Cinderace feeling the effects of that poisoning for the first time, but I'm sure it is very proud with that one-hit wonder, as out comes Goodra for the Future Royal Gators, and it is immediately going to Terrasilize into a Poison-type Pokemon. We have this gooey, poison-dripping Goodra on the field, and I would not want to be touched by this thing. If I had anything to say about it, it would be terrifying. Cinderace though looking to continue its impressive start, going with the Thunderbolt there onto Goodra. It doesn't do much damage, and Typhlosion does follow it up with the Eerie Impulse here onto Toxtricity. Toxtricity is going to have its special attack stat load, which is at a base 114. Now we get the Mud Shot from Goodra onto Typhlosion. Super effective, great hit there, and it lowers the speed there of the Fire-type Pokemon. Typhlosion follows it up with the Psych Up here, so it's going to copy the stat changes of Cinderace. And there is Cinderace still feeling the effects of that poison, but this is a great start for the Motorstoke Engines, as Cinderace is going to go for the Steel Wing. That is a great hit there onto the Pseudo-Legendary, and it is going to boost that defense of Cinderace as Goodra responds with the Bone Rush. This multi-hit move connects once, connects twice. Remember, Cinderace is no longer a Fire-type Pokemon thanks to that Libero ability. It is now a Ground type, and there's the Ancient Power from Toxtricity onto Typhlosion. Super effective, and Typhlosion is eliminated as Toxtricity is going to get the Omni Boost. That is right, it gets a boost in its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and its speed. Very impressive there by Toxtricity to take out the Jotonian Fire Starter, which means Charizard will be coming back out onto the field shortly as Cinderace continues to feel the effects of that poisoning. Here is the Fire Flying type, as Toxtricity, now quickest on the field, connects with the Force Palm. Not very effective due to that part Flying typing, and Cinderace responding for its side with the Fire Pledge. Goodra tanks that hit, and Charizard follows it up by setting up a Perish Song, which means everybody on the field who just heard that song will faint in 3 turns unless they're eliminated, or they can get back to the bench before that happens. The Encore does fail. I don't think anyone wants to hear that Perish Song anymore though, as Cinderace continues to feel that poisoning here, and there is everybody's Perish count falling to 3. Now, as I said earlier, both these sides have 7 victories so far this season. Both have 3 losses. The Poison type's currently sitting in 4th as Toxtricity with the Coil is going to boost those physical stats as well as boosting that accuracy. Now, the Fire types have lost their last 2 games and have actually dropped down to 6th place after a really impressive start to the season. And Cinderace going for the Poison Powder on the Poison types, which means it will not affect Goodra here. Charizard, though, is going to go with the Mud Slap, and Toxtricity feels all of that super effective hit and does have its accuracy lowered now as Goodra with the Shift Gear. It is going to boost its speed a great deal here. See if it can actually move quicker than the Fire types though, as it also boosts its attack in the process, and Cinderace still feeling the effects of that poisoning. Surely only has 1, maybe 2 turns left in this matchup, but as speaking of turns left in this matchup, that Perish count for everyone on the field does fall to 2. Now, Goodra, quickest on the field with the Fury Cutter, takes out Cinderace. That is a great hit by the Pseudo-Legendary. Toxtricity follows it up with the Water Pledge and completes the huge play. Both these Fire types taken out of the matchup. So that Perish Song being set up by Charizard was actually really intelligent, because both Goodra and Toxtricity only have 1 turn left. Now out comes Revavroom for the Motorstoke Engines, and it is going to be joined by Iron Moth, as Revavroom is now going to Terastallize into a Fire-type Pokemon, which means it loses its original typings, will still capitalize on their stab boost, but also gets the stab boost to ban a Fire-type Pokemon now. And here's Goodra going with the Play Nice onto its fellow Terrestrial Pokemon. It is going to lower that attack of Revavroom. Toxtricity follows it up with the Dream Eater, but unfortunately that will only work on Pokemon that are asleep, so it won't affect Revavroom. This allows Iron Moth to go for the role play, but that does fail here, and Revavroom is going to go with that Cotton Spore, which will connect with both poison types, but unfortunately Goodra's Sap Sipper ability causes it to get an attack boost. However, Toxtricity does have its speed stat low, but that does not matter because both Goodra and Toxtricity are taken out of this matchup because their Perish count has now fallen to 0. This is going to level the playing field. It is now a 3-on-3 battle between the Motostoke Engines and the Fuchsia Royal Gators. It will be Alolan Muck coming out for the Royal Gators, and it is joined by Toxapex here, as Iron Moth is going to go with the Aurora Beam immediately onto Toxapex, who tanks that not very effective move. Revavroom follows it up with the Stockpile, so it's going to boost its defenses here by stockpiling 1. The Fire types won it, and this 2-game losing streak though, and try and get themselves back into the Elite Four, which is what they'll do if they win here. The coaching now from Muck, it's going to help out Toxapex by boosting that attack stat, boosting that defense. It's already got that really impressive 152 base defense as it goes for the Hyper Voice, hitting both Revavroom and Iron Moth, and Iron Moth is going to respond with the Attract, but it doesn't affect Toxapex, unfortunately. And now Revavroom goes with the Sand Tomb, but Toxapex is able to get out of the way of that move. This allows Muck to go with the Fury attack, but Iron Moth avoids that. Everyone's dodging moves at the moment, and Toxapex goes with the Moonblast onto Iron Moth. Not very effective. Iron Moth really tanks that move and does respond with the Fairy Lock, making it so no one can escape during the next turn. I hope you're not looking to escape during the next turn. And if you enjoy what you're seeing, please subscribe, as the Cotton Spore now from Revavroom is going to lower Toxapex's speed a great deal, as well as Muck's, but they're already slower Pokemon on. They are the slower Pokemon on the field, as the Esper Wing onto Revavroom from Muck is going to boost Muck's speed in the process as well, and Toxapex is going to follow it up with the Flatter onto Revavroom. This is going to leave Revavroom confused, but it does boost its special attack. Revavroom is more of a physical attacker, however. And Iron Moth with the Lunar Blessing, it's going to restore its own health. It's going to restore the health of Revavroom as well. Iron Moth actually gets itself back to full strength. Revavroom not so lucky, but it needs to shake off this confusion. That's where that lock's really going to count. But unfortunately, it does damage to itself here. And this opens the door for Muck to go for its own Cotton Spore. So it's going to slow down the 2 Fire-type Pokemon now. But I imagine they will still be quicker than the 2 Poison types that are on the field, as Toxapex follows it up with the Play Nice. Yet again, Revavroom is going to have that attack stat lowered thanks to the Play Nice. Iron Moth going with the Earthquake though, hits everybody on the field. Looks like Muck takes the most damage from that super effective move. And Revavroom yet again trying to shake off this confusion. And this time it is successful. It goes for a Solar Blade. It's going to absorb the light on this turn, see if it can connect on the next turn. It won't be very effective though on a Poison type Pokemon, as the Glare from Muck is going to leave Revavroom paralyzed, so this will slow it down, but also cause it to potentially be unable to move. Toxapex with the Smog now, but Revavroom is able to get out of the way of that move at least. And now we get the Screech from Iron Moth onto Muck. This is going to lower its defense a great deal, and Muck has that only 75 base defense, and it responds with the Night Slash, getting a fantastic hit there onto Iron Moth. Toxapex with the Fling. It is going to throw its Leopard Berry at Iron Moth here, who tanks that move and proceeds to eat the Leopard Berry in the process, getting a PP boost as well. Revavroom needing to shake off this confusion, needing to shake off this paralysis, but unfortunately it doesn't even get to shake off the confusion. It does do damage to itself for the 2nd time so far. And Iron Moth going with the Aqua Tail, but it goes for Toxapex, that part Water type Pokemon, so it's not very effective. Muck is going to go with the Disarming Voice. This hits both Fire type Fire-type Pokemon, but it's not very effective on either of them, so it does very little damage. Revavroom is still confused, shakes that off, but is unable to move due to the paralysis that couldn't get through that. This opens the door for Toxapex to go for a stockpile of its own. So it's going to boost its defenses, and I mentioned that 152 physical defense. It has 142 special defense, and it just got a boost in both of them. As the Sweet Kiss from Iron Moth onto the Alolan Muck, this is going to leave it confused here, so it may also be doing damage to itself. Muck, being more successful than Revavroom, is able to shake that off, goes for the low sweep onto Iron Moth. Not very effective, but actually gets a really good hit and lowers the speed stat of the Firebug there. And now we get the Fire Poison type as the Thunder Shock onto Revavroom, snaps it out of its confusion, but yet again it couldn't move due to its paralysis. And now we have Iron Moth going for the rest. It's going to put itself to sleep here, but it's also going to put itself back at full health. So this is actually a really good play because it was getting really close to knockout range, which I'm sure the future Royal Gators really wish they had capitalized on, and already Muck has snapped out of its confusion, and it sets up a Quiver Dance on the field here, so it is going to boost its special attack as well as its special defense. It does have an impressive 100 special defense, but it's also boosted its speed. See if we can capitalize on that, as Toxapex is going to dive underground. It's going to hide underwater. This is actually really good because it's that part water type, and it could capitalize on as the Dragon Rush onto the Alolan Muck from Revavroom. Really good hit. Muck's able to hold on, and it is going to respond with a U-turn onto Revavroom. Not very effective, but Muck's actually going to go back to the bench here, so that could be a really good play, keeping it in here. So out in its place comes Toxicroak for the future Royal Gators, as Iron Moth is still fast asleep on the field, so it's unable to go for a move. And Toxapex finishes off the dive and gets that super effective elimination onto Revavroom. This puts the future Royal Gators back in front. This is really what they needed here, as now there are only 2 Pokemon left for the Motostoke Engines. There's still 3 for the Royal Gators, and out comes Ceruledge for the Motostoke Engines as Toxicroak with the knockoff onto Iron Moth. A great hit, and knocks off Iron Moth's Slapper Berry in the process, as Ceruledge is going to go with the Flame Wheel here onto Toxicroak. Fantastic hit, as Iron Moth is still fast asleep. Now we have Toxapex with the Scald onto Iron Moth, and it is 2 for 2 in its last turns with those super effective hits. It takes out Iron Moth as we get our first time warning, and Toxicroak follows it up with the Poison Gas onto Ceruledge. This is going to leave it poisoned, which means Ceruledge is on a ticking clock to eliminate these 3 Poison-type Pokemon. Ceruledge is going to go with the Fire Pledge here onto Toxapex, who tanks that move really impressively, frighteningly so, and it responds with the Icy Wind onto the Fire Ghost type, so it's not very effective here, but even got the critical hit, not that you would think so. And Ceruledge does have its speed lowered in the process, and is also feeling the effects of that poisoning. Toxicroak, as we get our second time warning, it goes for another knockoff, and Ceruledge is eliminated with that super effective hit. Very impressive by Toxicroak, and just like that, the future Royal Gators have gotten their 5th victory in a row. This will get them their 8th win so far this season, and in doing so moves them up into 2nd place, as next round they will be taking on the Holon Heroes. Whereas unfortunately for the Motostoke Engines, that is their 3rd loss in a row, and they will stay in 6th place, as next round they will be taking on the Lumiose Glitches. But until then, Nidorinos and Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.